First of all, we must know what is interview. Interview is a method for obtaining information that is midway between free conversation and mass polling and involves collecting data through direct communication between the researcher and the respondent. Interviews not only expand the possibilities of gathering more accurate and reliable information, they also allow you to go deeper into the research problem. Interview function. Informative function of the meaning of the interview, which aims to obtain information about the object or subject of research. This function is realized by influencing respondents during interviews to form certain views on certain issues. The second function may be the primary one, depending on the respondent and the purpose of the interview. For example, by examining the orientation of youth in the field of leisure time, a person can at the same time shape his attitude towards certain bad habits. Structuring the interview. Opening the interview. The interview opening sets the mood for the interview and affects the willingness and ability to go beyond level 1 iteration. The interview opening determines the atmosphere that will occur during the interview, whether it continues well or ends prematurely. A bad opening will lead to a defensive climate with shallow, unclear, and inaccurate response. The two-step process. At the time of the opening, there are two stages of the process, namely building relationship and directing other parties that encourage active participants and willingness to continue to the core of the interview. The first is establish rapport. Rapport is the process of building and maintaining a relationship between the interviewer and the interviewer by creating a feeling of goodwill and trust. This stage can be started with an introduction, a short greeting, or with non-verbal gestures. Considers bring up personal questions, how last semester, and good humor chats. And the second is orient the other party. Orientation is usually the second step in the opening. At this stage, you can explain the purpose, duration, nature of the interview, how the information will be used, and how or why the couple was interviewed. Study each situation well to determine the degree and nature of orientation that is important. B. Opening techniques. The first is state the purpose. These techniques explain why you are doing the interview. The IT must hold on to a certain goals until the IT gets enhanced expert, motivate the IT to take part in the interview and avoid self-defense. Example, I will be voting to determine how registrate for terms learned as election approach. The second is summarize a problem. This technique is the stage of knowing where the opening must stop and continue at the next stage. This technique is appropriate when the IT is unaware of the problem, is visually aware of it, or does not know the details. Example, as you know, we started advertising our photography service about a year ago. At first, it worked really well, but in the last few months, it took us more time to get the picture. The cost has increased by almost 20%, yes or no. Example, what are you looking for in a study abroad program? Avoid question like, do you need an assistant? Can I help you? And the last is closing. Closing is an integral part of every interview, not something to be kept at the end and not an escape mechanism. When we finish the last question and have got all expected information, we often feel more relaxed and the interview is over.